Hi everyone, so if you're new here, I'm Damaris and I created Rainbow Vegans Rock, and on my channel I talk about vegan things and eco-friendly things. So if you can, stay tuned to the end of the video. I've got a weekly quote this week and it's a vegan one. So this video is I stopped washing my clothes as much for the environment. So I'm not sure how well known this is, but one of the easiest ways you can reduce your carbon footprint at home is to wash your clothes much less. So every time you wash your clothes, you use energy to heat up the water in the machine in order to wash your clothes. So due to this, washing with the lowest temperature possible is obviously better environmentally. I wash everything on 30 degrees and even cloth nappies come out perfectly clean at this temperature. Most washing machines these days are so efficient at cleaning the clothes that you don't actually need to wash any hotter than 30 or 40 degrees. Another thing to consider about washing machines is that the average washing machine uses about 50 litres of water per load, which is crazy when you think about that. That is a lot of water every time you wash a load of clothes. So I did talk about in another video the easy ways to save water at home, so I'll link that here in case that interests you. So obviously the newer machines are much more water and energy efficient, in fact. So this is definitely something to think about if you need to replace a washing machine. Some of the newer ones are sort of graded and they, like I said, they're much more efficient energy-wise and water-wise. So first of all, a tip for when you're washing your clothes, always make sure that you don't underfill the machine. Make sure that you've got a full load going through. And obviously not, I don't mean completely packed full, because then it doesn't actually clean the clothes properly. I just mean if you've only got a few items of clothing and you need to do a wash, try and think if there's anything else that could do with a freshen up that you can put in with it, like rugs, furnishings, whatever that you might be able to put in with that load to make it a full load. Or if your washing machine has the option for a half fill wash, then obviously make use of that if you haven't got a full load. So also with the wash cycles, synthetic cycles generally use more water in the cycle, and that's to prevent creasing. So if you can, try and pick the more natural cycles like the cotton cycles, because that will use less water generally. Electricity. So the average washing machine uses approximately 2.5 units of electricity per basic cycle. A basic cotton 40-degree cycle, let's say. Another thing to remember when you're being cautious and not washing your clothes as much is that not only does it help the environment, it does actually save you money as well. So admittedly, I probably do use my washing machine more than most because I am washing cloth nappies every single day. So I have the cloth nappies which I actually bought for my son. Some have got cars and other prints on them, but of course it doesn't really matter. I'm reusing them with my baby girl, and I didn't, as she's my last baby, I didn't want to spend out on getting any more cloth nappies. So I just wash daily so that I've got a constant supply of them. And like I said, I just make sure that I wash it on a quick 30-minute cycle, and honestly, they come out perfect. But also, in order to kind of balance that out, the fact that I'm using a washing machine daily anyway, I tend to not overwash my clothes. So I'll wear a top for say 3 days before I change it. Obviously bear in mind this is if I was doing some kind of exercise or something, then of course I would change it much more frequently. But on an average day where I'm not doing anything that would involve a lot of sweating, then tops I would change every 3 days. Jeans or trousers, possibly about once a week. And bedding, I'm probably average with bedding. So in the winter I change the bedding every fortnight, and in the summer I change the bedding every week. But even if it's winter like it is now, I will always change the pillowcases every week. Yeah, so I will change the pillowcases because I read somewhere that it's bad for your skin. You can sort of cause breakouts if you don't change change your pillowcases often enough. So this is just something that I do. I'm in the habit of doing it every week, and I just think it's, if you haven't got time to change the whole bedding, then just do your pillowcases. That's just so much easier. But I do change my underwear and socks every day. You know, I'm a hippie, but I'm not disgusting. Of course, I do understand that this might not be possible for everyone. If you're quite a sweaty person or you've got a really active job, then you probably won't get away with wearing the same top for several days. I do completely understand that. But this is just something that works for me, and it's just a bonus that it helps the environment as well. I'm also conscious not to overwash any synthetic clothes. So a lot of the clothes that I've thrifted or they've been given to me by friends, I do have still various items which are synthetic, so polyester, etc. And I'm very conscious that when we wash these clothes, polyester is basically plastic. I do talk about the worst fabrics and the most sustainable fabrics in a video. I'll link it here because I do talk about the worst fabrics in fashion in that, and you know, polyester, nylon, that sort of thing, they are the top contenders, and the problem with them is they shed microplastics in the wash, and that works its way through the water system and ends up back in the ocean. And as we know about microplastics, they're just really bad for the marine life and everything in the ocean. So it's something to consider if you are washing synthetic fabrics. So you can get like a sort of mesh bag that you can put your synthetic clothes into, and this just tries to collect as much of the fibres, microplastics that come off, and you then just put those in the bin. I've actually bought a Corable. I'll link that video as well, because this is quite a clever device. It is based on the idea of the coral in the ocean and how it collects all of the debris and everything from the sea, and the coral collects it to sort of keep it clean. So this Corable is designed like that. So it collects all the fibres, and then you just have to pull them out like a hairbrush or cut them out if they're really stuck in there, and you just put them in the bin so it doesn't go through the water system. To me, this is kind of a sort of temporary fix. So yeah, to me this is kind of a temporary fix of the issue, because I know that if you have the money, you can spend out for like an attachment that goes on the back of the washing machine, and that has filters which you change, and that filters out the microplastics. By the sound of it, that is a much more efficient way of filtering the microplastics off of clothes, but this is not something that I'm in a position to use at the moment. I'm in rented accommodation, so I wanted something which was more not something that I had to have fitted basically. So I've gone with the Corable, and overall I don't think there's anything bad about that. I think it collects much more than I expected, and at least I feel like I'm doing something, you know. In the future I will consider getting the attachment to help further with this issue. So I think that's all I really wanted to... I almost forgot to say, of course, even though I don't wash my clothes that often, you know, I wash pyjamas once a week, trousers once a week as well, unless there's any kind of, you know, massive stains on anything really. So I can just get away with not washing my clothes all the time, and I just think it's something that has to be a kind of balance. So, but like I said before, I do appreciate that not everybody will be able to do this. If you go for a run every day, then you need your active wear, that sort of thing. I do completely understand, but it's something that I do, and it obviously helps the environment as well. So lastly, I just wanted to do the weekly quote, and the quote this week is from Joaquin Phoenix, and it takes nothing away from a human to be kind to an animal. I love how this actor is so passionate about the animals, and how he always uses his position, you know, as a popular actor to be an animal activist and spread the word. I just think that's so great. So I hope this has been useful today. Please do like and subscribe if you like this sort of thing, and I'll see you on the next video.